Hello everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a basic form and how to style it with CSS. So right now, what you'll need to do is that you'll need to basically, create a form tag. So you just say form, and there are two attributes that you are going to use. So the action. So this is the action when somebody clicks on submit, for example, where it's going to take you. It should take you to something called process.php or wherever you want. You can type in, for example, I don't know, index.html. That's wrong, but you can do that. I mean, it will take you to anywhere you want. But I'm going to, say process.php. So it will be, it will take us to a PHP page. And right here, we are going to use something called method. So method right here, let me just, resize it so you can see it better. So the method, there are two methods. You can use either get or you can use post. It's up to you. But I'm going to use post because it's more secure. And I'm going to simply close the form tag. So we have the opening form tag here, and this is the end of the form. And right here, we are going to use something called label. So we are going to say label, all right? For example, you can say first name, so first name, and as you notice on the browser, we see it that it just says first name. And I'm going to copy this, and I'll just paste it 3 times or 4 times, and this will be last name. So last, all right, so last name. This will be let's see, phone, and this will be the message. But as you notice, they are next to each other, so we will need to display them. We will change the display later, so let's not worry about that now. We have the labels there, and now let's create the input fields. So we are going to create the input. So this will be input and type. This will be a text field, all right? So as you notice, we have an input field where people will be able to click and enter their information. So text, and I can say name. So f name, this will be the first name, and ID, this will be f name also. So the difference between the name and ID is, the name is used by PHP, and the ID is used by CSS and JavaScript. So it's always good to have a name there, the same name. And we are going to say max length. So this is the max length, and I'm going to put 25 here. All right, so we have 25 there. So people will be able to enter 25 characters. So it's up to you what number you are going to add here. So this is up to you, but we have added that there. And then I'm going to copy this input field because I'm going to simply, have an input field for the last name, except I'm going to change the name here. It says L name because this is last name. All right, so L name, and this will be the L name also. So last name, same thing. All right, and right here I'm going to add an input here, and this will be the phone. So input type. So instead of saying type text, I can say tel. So this is a telephone number. All right, this input is going to be a telephone number. That's why I just said phone, and then the type is not going to be text, but it's going to be a telephone number. And right here for the message, I'm not gonna add an input field. I'll just add a text area. All right, so this will be the text area, and a text area is bigger than the input field. So this is the text area, and the text area is different. And now, if we view this on a web browser, you'll notice that it's unorganized. So we have the first name here, it's not organized at all. So we'll be able to, organize it later. But now let's focus on the submit button here and the reset button, and then we'll style it. So right here, I'm going to add something called an input. So I'm going to add another input, but this one will be submit, all right? So when you do this, it will add a submit button, And let's see, it adds it inside of the text area. So our text area is still open, so we need to close it. Really? So it's / text area. Okay. So our text area is here, all right? And right here we have the input type submit, and you see it says submit, but if you want to change it to something else, you can simply type in value equals to whatever you want. So I can say, for example, send email, and as you notice it will change that. And now I'm going to save it, and I'm going to just copy this input field, I mean this submit field, and I'm going to paste it here. And instead of saying submit, I'll just type in reset, and I'm going to change this one to reset. All right, so now if we save this, so if I clicked on send email, it would just send it. And as you notice, we don't have the process file yet, but it takes us to that file. And if we click on reset, it will simply reset the button. So it will reset the form, I should have said. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to organize this a little bit. So we are going to simply go to the style here at the top. So we have used the style tag inside of the head, but you can, even if you have an external sheet, you'll be able to, style it. But I'm going to type my CSS here just to make it simple. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select the labels first. So I'm going to say label, all right? So only type in label and open two curly braces. So let me zoom in so you can see it. And right here, what I can do is I can say display block. And as I do that, you'll notice that it will organize it, but this is not what we want. So I want this one to appear next to this input field, not on top of it. However, if you are happy with it, you can go with this one. But I will not go with this one. So I'm going to say inline block. So inline dash block. All right. And as you notice, with the inline block, the text appears next to the input field. So now what I can do is that I can add some width here. So width 160 pixels. And as you notice, now my input fields are aligned. So now what I want is that I want these labels to appear closer to the input fields. So what I can do is that I can say text align right. All right. And as you notice, they are aligned to the right. And if we save this and view it on a web browser, so this is how it looks. All right. Except I want some spaces between these input fields. So what I can do is I can simply say input. All right. So input and add some margin. So margin dash top. So margin top, let me add 10 pixels. So we have that one there. Now, as you notice, it did not take effect for the text area. So for the text area, what you can do is that you can select it. So you can say text area. It's like that, and add that margin top there too. So let me just add it there, save it. And as you notice, it has been added there. So if we save it and refresh it, we have it here, and we are resetting it. So this is how it looks on a web browser. And as you notice, if we zoom out, it will not be organized. So why is that? Well, we will have to set the display inline for the input fields and the text area also. So now, even if we view it on a web browser, you'll notice that it will not be organized. So this happens because we don't have an actual size for the form. So we can simply select the form. All right, so say form, just like that, and open two curly braces. And you can say, for example, width 200 pixels, 200 pixels, resave it, refresh it. And 200 pixels is not enough. That's why you see it's pushing, again, it's pushing our form down. So we can say maybe 400 pixels. So this is like trial and error. So save it and refresh it. We have it there. And now even if we zoom in and zoom out, you'll notice that our form looks good even if we zoom in and zoom out. So now it's time to style the buttons. So what I can do is that I can go down all the way here and I can say input, because our buttons are inputs. So inputs, then open two brackets, square brackets I should have said, then type, all right, equals to, so input type submit, then two blue braces, so background color red. And as you notice, we only have selected that button and we have changed the color to red. So that's not a good color. Let's change it to something else. So I can say colon and let me go with brown, and let me just change the color here. So color white, or hash, I can say hash FFF. That's a quick way of saying white. Let me add a semicolon here. I forgot it. Okay. And we will also select the other one. So to select the other one, we will do the same thing. So we will just say input. All right. So input, then open square brackets, then type then equals to quotations, then type in reset. All right. So now we are selecting the reset button, and I'll show you why I have, added two different styles for two different buttons. So I'll talk about it later, but let me just copy the styles and properties here. So now you'll notice that we have them here, and now I want, this button, send mail button, I want it to appear to the center a little bit. So I can say margin dash left. So margin dash left, let me go about 100 pixels. So save it. And if we view this on a web browser, this is how it looks. So what I can do now is that I want to center this form right here in the middle. So what I can do is that I can go to the form up here and I can say margin dash left auto, all right, and margin dash right auto. And as I do that, if I save it and refresh it, you'll notice that my form will be perfectly centered. So now this is my form, and let's see what else we can do actually. So now we have our basic form, and we are going to use something called fieldset. So I'm going to say fieldset, all right. So as you notice, when I add a fieldset, it will add some border there. So I can just copy or cut the end of the fieldset and paste all of my input fields inside of the fieldset. You will notice that it will create a section here, and or underneath it, what I can do is that I can use something else called legend. So legend, I can say, for example, personal information. As you notice, it has added that, and if we look at it on a web browser, you'll notice that this is how it looks. So it says personal information, and this is basically it. And if I want this to appear in the middle or to the right, what I can do is that I can go to the style and simply type in a legend to select the legend, and I can say text align, for example, right. If you save it, or if you look at it on a web browser, it's gonna appear here. Since it's English and we read English from the left to the right, I would definitely recommend that you place it to the left. So this is not so this is optional, the legend and the text alignment of the so you can say, for example, left, and this is the default one, but I can simply change the color of it to brown, all right, and just save it, refresh it, and this is how it looks. So right now you'll notice that our text area is resizable. So the user can simply select this thing over here and he'll be able to resize it, and this is not what we want. And as you notice, it changes the look of our form. So this is not something that we want the user to do. So we are going to the text area and we are going to say resize none. And as I do that and I save it, now you'll notice that the user is unable to resize our text area. All right, so now that person will simply enter something here, and that would be it. So now we have all that, and so far we have created this basic form, and I hope this video was helpful. And in the next video we will style this more. All right, so I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks everyone. I'm out.